We're in this incredible new era of 3D asset creation. We've got tools like photogrammetry and generative AI that can spit out models with just stunning detail. But there's a hidden cost that comes with this new wave of assets, a fundamental lack of reliability that can bring a modern production pipeline to its knees. So today, we're going to look at an alternative solution to this growing problem, one that promises cleanup without all the guesswork.
All right, take a look at this model. On the surface, it looks perfect, right? A clean, detailed asset looks like it's ready to go. But what you see in the viewport is so often just a pretty facade. Underneath all that, there can be a total mess of technical problems just waiting to cause headaches down the line.
And this slide just illustrates that disconnect perfectly. On the left, you've got the clean render you think you're working with, but on the right, that's the technical reality. Broken topology, non-manifold geometry, chaotic UVs, all the stuff that doesn't actually show up until it is way, way too late.
And that is the most frustrating part. These hidden flaws, they don't cause a crash right when you import the asset. Oh no, they wait. They wait until you're baking, and then suddenly your textures are a glitchy mess. They fail inside the game engine, causing weird rendering artifacts, and that's exactly the point where fixing them becomes incredibly expensive and just a huge waste of time.
So what happens? Well, it forces artists and technical directors into this painful, super inefficient loop. You export the asset, you see it fail in the engine, and then you're right back in your main 3D app just guessing at what might be wrong. You try a fix, you export again, and you repeat the whole process, just burning hours on what feels like a complete mystery. There has got to be a better way.
And that better way, that alternative, is to catch these problems before they ever enter your pipeline. And this is Asset Inspector Pro. It's a tool designed specifically to diagnose, to repair, and to validate these fragile, unpredictable assets, turning them into something you can actually build on and trust.
Now, what's really key to this whole approach is that it completely rejects the idea of a single magic fix-it button. Because let's be honest, we all know those rarely work. Instead, its entire philosophy is built around giving the artist control through presets that are tailored for specific, real-world situations.
And that means you get presets that actually match what you're doing. So for instance, if you need to quickly check a dozen assets, boom, you use FastGPU. For your everyday cleanup, Balance is your go-to. When you're prepping a hero asset for a cinematic render, where that topology has to be perfect, there's high quality. And for that absolute disaster of a scan that just seems hopeless, there's even a salvage mode. It's all about choosing the right tool for the job.
So the whole thing boils down to this simple but really powerful loop. The tool doesn't just fix things in some black box. No, it helps you clearly see what's wrong. It gives you an intelligent way to choose the right repair strategy, and then it gives you instant visual feedback so you can verify that the fix actually worked.
So for example, here's that same asset from before. But now, we're not just looking at the surface. The mesh viewer is lighting it up, highlighting every single boundary edge, every piece of non-manifold geometry. All those invisible problems are suddenly made totally visible. There's no more guessing. The issues are right there in front of your face.
And here it is. This is the result after running a repair pass. It's the same mesh, but now it's clean, it's watertight, and it's genuinely ready for the pipeline. Every single one of those highlighted errors is just gone. This is that moment of clarity, the visual proof that your asset is no longer a ticking time bomb.
Look, fixing a single mesh is great. But the real game changer, the feature that takes us from just a handy utility to a core pipeline tool, is all about making this process scalable and repeatable. Because you're not just going to get one broken asset, you're going to get hundreds.
And this is done through something called an execution plan. Okay, think of it like a recipe. It's a series of steps that you define the exact inspection and repair operations in the exact order you want them. It turns a one-off manual fix into a standardized workflow you can save, share, and then just apply to any number of assets. And here's what that looks like in the tool itself. You can see the pipeline of steps laid out so clearly. You can load a recommended plan, you can edit it, you can save your own custom version, and export it for your team. You're not just fixing a mesh anymore, you're defining how meshes get fixed in your studio.
And that's the ultimate value right there. It takes that chaotic, frustrating trial and error loop and it replaces it with something predictable, visual, and controllable. It basically transforms mesh cleanup from this mysterious art into a reliable engineering step.
So all of this leaves us with a final, really crucial question to consider. As generative AI and scanning tech continue to pump out more and more assets, this problem of mesh quality is only going to get bigger.
The old ways of just guessing and checking and hoping for the best, they just won't scale. So you have to ask yourself, is your pipeline truly ready for what's coming next?